Hello everyone, welcome to Green Gander 75. I'm Buddy Phillips. Well, we've had a really busy week this week. I didn't really have much time to do much shop work with my work schedule and with some traveling that I did this weekend. A couple of shots from this weekend. Traveling down the road. Just didn't have much time to do any shop work. So we're going to do a little bit this evening. And it's Sunday evening, pretty late. I'm trying to get a video out by Monday for everyone. And so we're going to go ahead and do a little bit, and this will go ahead and get us started for the next video coming up after this one, and for next week. So what we're going to do is we are going to go ahead and put the parts in some purple power. And go ahead and start breaking down all the grime and everything that is on them, and we're going to leave those parts in overnight, and that way they should be ready tomorrow to get a good scrubbing and a good rinse. And then if there's any rust needs to be removed, we'll put them in some evaporust overnight, and that will take care of the rust. So a couple words on the chemicals that we're using. You know, you got to be careful with chemicals. You're going to see that I'm going to be wearing my safety glasses. I'll be wearing some chemical resistant gloves. Of course, I'm wearing my apron. And just want to be careful with that. Don't want to get that on you. You know, don't want to have any like chemical burns or irritation or anything like that. The main thing is just to work safely. Also a note about chemicals. When you're working with chemicals, and I'll be sure to follow your local rules on how to dispose and properly use those chemicals, because those rules can vary from one place to another. So be sure, if you don't know what those rules are, go ahead and contact where you dispose of like your household trash, and ask those people, and they should be able to point you in the right direction on how to properly dispose of your cleaning chemicals, and also any paint that you may remove if you're doing a project like this. And we'll talk about the paint a little more later on. A lot of important things to remember when working with paint, especially when it could be lead paint. So I think that's it. Let's go ahead and get started getting these parts in the purple power. Okay, I think we're ready to get started here. Well, the first things we're going to go ahead and do is put on my chemical resistant gloves. Just a reminder of safety. I have my goggles on, in this case my wraparound safety glasses. I'm wearing an apron, and I've got my gloves on. And I'm going to work safely. This purple power I have right here is getting old. I've been using this since I first started this project, so it's getting about time for me to go ahead and discard of this. I'll use my local regulations on how to probably discard this. Yours may vary, so I'm not going to go through what I have to do, because what you have to do locally for yourself may be a lot different than what I have to do. So just make sure you follow your local rules on how to properly discard of chemicals. So yes, this is getting near its end of its lifespan. You can see that it's got a lot of nasty stuff now floating on top of it. So, almost time to replace that. Good stuff though. I'm really very happy with it. This is not an official endorsement for it. I'm not paid to endorse Purple Power. I'm just a happy paying customer. Okay, now for that, let's go ahead and get started putting some stuff in it. Got some gears here. Now I'm going to lay everything down in here. I don't really want anything to crash together. Alright, a lot of parts in this apron. These parts here are in good shape. They don't need any grease oil removal, so we're not going to do those. They will go on to the next step, which will be paint removal. Now, in the middle of this apron, you may recall me removing, let me show it on this camera, you may recall me removing this gear right here. Now this is left and right. I've got to engrave this before I put it in there. Right now I've just got it marked with a Sharpie. So we're going to hold off degreasing that. As soon as I put it in there, my marks will be gone. So we're going to hold off on that until I get that done. Get that engraved in it. Shouldn't be too difficult, but we'll go ahead and take care of that off camera. And we've got a bunch of various screws and pins. Okay, so we got a bunch of various screws and pins that we're putting in there. Now this particular assembly here, I'm not going to put it in just yet. I'll show it on this camera here. We're not going to put this in just yet. I want to do it separately. There's supposed to be a lot of fine intricate parts in there, so I don't want to take a chance of this getting mixed in with that and something get damaged. So we're going to do this separately, and I'll probably do this off camera also. The main casting here, I will be doing this on the next video. We will be using some cleaner on that and getting it cleaned, but just a little bit big for my bucket here. You also want to be careful when you're working with a product like Purple Power to try not to put anything in there that is made of aluminum. Aluminum being a softer material, you don't want to risk that damaging your aluminum part. This part right here, you can feel it is definitely made of aluminum. So we'll be hand scrubbing this with a lighter degreaser. So more on that later on. Okay, we're going to put our lid on it, keep it from evaporating. Also to keep somebody from walking by and maybe getting that splashed on them. because we want to be safe on this. Alright, so those parts will sit in there until tomorrow afternoon. So they'll be in there probably a good 12 hours at least. They'll stay in there until I get off work tomorrow afternoon, and then I'll take them out and give them a good scrubbing down, good brushing, and then the next step is if there's rust on them, we'll go ahead and put them in some Evaporust. If not, then the part will go ahead, after it's degreased, we will go ahead and oil it real good to keep it from rusting now that it's clean. We'll go ahead and oil it, keep it from developing any rust, and then it'll just be put aside until we're ready to start reassembling everything. So, like I said, short video this week. That's pretty much all I got for tonight. It's pretty late, so it's time for me to go ahead and pack this up and start on it next week. Next week should be a quiet week for me, and it's also going to be a holiday weekend coming up. So I'm looking forward to getting a lot of work done on the lathe and getting y'all out some pretty good videos. So I'd like to take this moment to thank you for watching. Thank you to all my new subscribers. Thank you to everyone who's sending me some comments. I really enjoy that, and I enjoy writing back to y'all, and I really enjoy hearing about other people who who are working on projects like this too, and that's really exciting. It's great to know that you got some other folks that are enjoying this process also, and getting an opportunity to share some of the things that we've learned and some of our tricks and tips as we go through it. So that's a lot of fun. So if you haven't clicked subscribe, I would really encourage you to click subscribe. Somewhere down around here on the bottom you'll find a button to subscribe to my channel here. That way you're kept up to date on all my new videos. Working on getting all my videos published usually on Monday. So far we're doing pretty good on that, so look for my new videos on Monday usually. So always like a good thumbs up if you like this video, and of course leave your good comments. I always like to hear from you. Well, I guess that's it, so we will continue next week on cleaning the lathe apron, and then getting it prepped for paint, and then painting, and then reassembling. So once again, thank you for watching, and y'all have a good evening.